There is speculation that, hey, Mt. Gox haven't redistributed for a while. U.S. government have not sold in a while. So can they both be adding to the sell pressure in September? I don't know. It's just speculation at this point. If you look at Mt. Gox, they still have about 46,000 Bitcoin set to be redistributed. That's a lot. The U.S. government has about 13 billion, right? So it does sound scary. But however, Mt. Gox has distributed over 100,000 Bitcoin, and you could argue it did not affect the market at all because most people that took their Bitcoin just held it. They didn't dump it. They didn't just massive dump on the market. So even Mt. Gox distributes 46,000 Bitcoin. Does not necessarily mean it's bad. Maybe nothing happens, right? But now, as for the U.S. government, that's a different story. U.S. government, we know that they all of a sudden sold for no reason earlier this month. We don't know what the plans are, but you figure at this point they should stop because it's very likely the next president wants to take all the Bitcoin that the U.S. government has and put it in the treasury and make it a strategic reserve because that's been said. So I don't know why anyone within the government would be trying to sell it off now. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? So yeah, so we got a couple, like I said, a couple fuddish things going on in September. What that doesn't mean is go be true. Ultimately, these are all distractions. They're all distractions. The main thing you need to worry about is the supply and demand of Bitcoin. And demand keeps on rising and supply keeps on going down. Despite all these things that may add to maybe a little more sell pressure. But keep in mind, the buy pressure is only building. Okay, look at this. Wells Fargo is planning on preparing its wealth advisors to actively pitch Bitcoin ETFs. This is from a $1.7 trillion bank. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. The buy pressure is there and will only increase. Even though BlackRock made a mistake yesterday, had outflow, but they have already taken in over $20 billion of Bitcoin. And now all these major banks are also pitching. They're pitching Bitcoin ETFs to their wealthy clients. The ones that have tens of millions, hundreds of millions, maybe billions. And exchange reserves keeps on dropping. Supply keeps plummeting. There's only so much to go around. I mean, look at that. It just keeps going down and down and down and down and down. This is showing the miners, but yesterday I showed one just from the exchanges. Keeps going down. Supply is going down. Demand is going up. So all the things I've talked about, all the fuddish things that may happen short term, they're all distractions. Bitcoin is what you want to buy and hold forever, basically. Because the longer you hold, the more you make. It's really that simple. Here's an interesting chart that shows the price versus the hash rate. With Bitcoin, it's the only crypto out there where the price trails the hash rate. Everything else that's still proof of work, everything else out there, it's reverse. The hash rate chases the price. With Bitcoin, the price chases the hash rate. And that's because the miners understand they continue to mine and mine and mine and mine because they know this is a game where you only have so much. There's only so many Bitcoin, and it's a game of accumulation. Whoever accumulates the most wins. That's it. That's it. So if you're looking at this, the price versus hash is at an all-time low. And the last few times we saw this was when Bitcoin was getting ready to go ballistic, parabolic, the banana zone, right? This is right before that time. And we got a lot of other charts that show the same thing. Here's one from the Puell Multiple that's showing that every single cycle, we do have a bottom. We come up a little bit, and then we have a reaccumulation. We fall down a little bit again. And then what comes afterwards? The parabolic phase. I mean, it's like clockwork every single cycle. A lot of you guys haven't lived through previous cycles. If you had, you know this is the truth. Every single cycle, you have a lot of volatility, sometimes very scary drops, but that doesn't mean the cycle's over. It just continues. Like I said, all the fuddish things for Bitcoin are all distractions, distracting you from the truth. And the truth is, Bitcoin is the best asset to hold, and all you have to do is HODL and DCA. That's it. That's it. Here's another one. This is the last one I'll show you. Okay. A pattern that Bitcoin is in right now. Very, very, very similar to what happened in 2017 before Bitcoin broke out from about $2,000 and went up to $20,000. Okay. That, if you do the math, is a 10x. Does that mean Bitcoin is about to break out from its low of what, 50-something thousand to $500,000? Hey, it can happen. It can happen, but with diminishing returns, probably not. But you know what? Sometimes stranger things have happened, right? Who knows how high Bitcoin's going to go by the end of the cycle. But we do see a lot of similarities. History doesn't repeat, but it tends to rhyme, and it often rhymes. So it's looking good. If you look at this month so far, surprisingly, this month is barely in the red. A lot of people think, well, we're like way, way, way down in August. We're not. We're barely in the red. And we actually had a green July. And in June, even though we had a red, it wasn't bad. May was good. April was bad. And then we had pretty good February and March, obviously, right? But if you look at September, traditionally speaking, September is not a good month. However, if you look at 2023, we had a lot of greens, right? Now we're in 2024. Are we going to see the same? 2023, if you look at, we had a lot of greens because 2022 was horrible. And 2024, we started our year hot. We've been pretty much going sideways, like I've been saying, a little more red. Are we going to see a green month or a red month? Based on history, red. But we know Bitcoin does this thing. Bitcoin goes up and down, sometimes drastically within a single month. And we know that the rate cuts are coming starting next month, right? And we haven't had that for many, many, many years. So there are catalysts that are coming.